Always put your trust in divine help. Should you feel besieged with no way out, help will arrive from God. Never doubt the divine paternity. God watches over and helps you, not always as you would like, but in the way that is best for your true happiness. At times, it may seem that divine help will not arrive or will arrive too late. But afterward, if you waited, you will see that it did arrive a short time before.
Thank you. Let's elevate our thoughts. After this beautiful message, reminding ourselves that we are never alone and the help always arrives. Because God loves us unconditionally and He wants what's the best for us. So let's be grateful for everything we have, our blessings, and the opportunity of being here today, nurturing our souls, our spirits. When we know there is so much going on in the world, and here together we can bring light into this world. It might seem to be a small beacon of light, but it resonates so much. It shines brightly when we are connected with the Creator and we are focused on love and peace. So now, as we welcome everyone here, all our spiritual friends that are here today, and all the ones that might be watching us at home, we ask Divine Creator to bless everyone and inspire us to become better people every day, as we ask permission to start our meeting of this Sunday. So be it. Let's pause. There you go. Hello, everyone. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you are. So happy that you are here today. And today the time changed here in California. So we were able to sleep 1 hour extra. I fell back and it did feel good. One more extra hour. And just remind ourselves that we need to take a break and rest. We are in a hurry every time, doing a bunch of things, and our body asks us, hey, take a break. It's okay. You are a human being. It's okay to sleep a little bit later. Watch a movie, lay down, as long as this is not 8 hours rest unless you are sick or something. But today, I decided to share with you the topic mental landscape based on the book A Full Life by the Spirit Joanna de Angelis. And I really loved what she shared with us. And I will share and do my own interpretation. And just think about it, what we hear here today, and how I can apply this to my life. So, this is a piece of paper, and I'm just going to share that this week I read a book with my students called Creepy Carrots. If you haven't heard that story for children, it's a really cool book. And it's not about Halloween, it's about the carrots were really upset that this bunny was eating all the carrots. So they come up with a plan to scare the bunny, to see if the bunny would leave them alone. So it's really a book about problem and solution, facing the fears. But then the kids, they're 4 or 5, decide, let's draw the bunny. I want to draw the bunny and all the creepy carrots around them. So I give them a paper and I taught them, okay, use the paper as landscape. That side, and let's draw the bunny. And you give it the directions. First I said, make sure we're going to draw the bunny. The bunny have long ears. Make sure that we give some space here for the ears. You start right here. Put it like your hand and you explain. And that's when you see the different kinds of personalities in kids. Some of them really got it and they were like measuring 1, 2, 3, 4 fingers and down the round in the face. Others didn't listen at all what I was saying, and they just drew the face right here, right on the top. Because at this age, they don't have developed yet this spatial awareness, and we are teaching and practicing. And then you had the ones that made a mistake and was crying and could not move on because they were stuck on that circle. I even said, turn the page. I had to give another paper. There are others that didn't care. They were so close that they drew the bud ears that look like bears. And those are my favorites, the other students that, okay, whatever, I messed up. I'm going to draw the ears. And they drew one long ear, one side, another ear, the long side instead of the top. And all this story that I'm sharing to you is to introduce the word landscape. Hi. To introduce the word landscape. That was very funny with my kiddos, my students. But the word landscape, I looked for the definition. It's also the visible features of an area of a countryside or land of considered in terms of their aesthetic appeal, right? What does it have to do with the spirituality, with what's going on in our lives? Well, why I loved this, because Joana de Angelis always talks about her mind. What you do with your mind, whatever you think, you have the power to create your environment by what you think, the power of all those things, positive, negative. And it's a lot of information. I get it. But I'm a visual learner. And when I read this, Joana de Angelis said, it's easy. Think of your mind as a landscape. Can you imagine? Then I was like, okay, this is my head. I imagine a line. I imagine the landscape, a piece of land. And how is the landscape of your mind? So here's some landscapes. Beautiful, huh? With the houses and all those things. If I gave you a piece of paper right now and said, draw your mind landscape, how would it look like? What would you have there? I almost did this. I almost gave you papers and markers. Do this at home. So when we think our mind as landscape, hoping that a mind of your landscape, what does our mind do all the time? We experience the world through our 5 senses. And all the time, we are scanning. I walk here and I just go. I'm scanning everybody, what you're wearing, what you say. Not to judge. We do this all the time. We go to the store, we are at home. And then what it does, we stored all this information, right? We scan. Like women are really good at scanning. I used to go out with my daughter, and we used to be at the store, and we would just go in line. I look at her, and I just go with my eyes. And she's like, mm-hmm. Go, mm. And we had this whole conversation with this just the eyes, the nose, right? We have this, and now, not saying anything bad about men, but I've done this, and then I could talk to my husband about it, and I go, what's wrong with your nose? What? 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 I go, quiet. I'm talking about something, right? And that's one thing that my daughter and I, we always laugh and we think that's funny. But we all the time is scanning with our sense, and then we feel the emotions, and then what do? We collect data. And this is happening all the time, even without thinking. We are all collecting data. From the moment that you were a baby, our experiences, knowledge create the mental landscape. We get buildings in our mind, right? From our childhood, from something that happened, from knowledge when we go to school. We are building those beautiful, tall buildings, houses, all the time, right now. You're adding more things to your landscape, mental landscape. So what kind of buildings do you have right now in your landscape? Emotionally, social, the history of your family, what's going on with you. And Joanna D'Angelo says, you got to be aware of it. That's your mind. What are you building right now? And we keep running and doing a bunch of things and dedicate time to our family, eating, whatever it is the animal needs, because we need to sleep, eat, and all that animal factors. And we stop to think of our mind. And whatever it is our mind is going to affect our relationship with the world, relationship with ourselves and others. Everybody's so serious now. Should I say a little joke? No. I really would like to see us drawing, our mind landscape. And then Joanna says, everything that you plant there, you will produce. What kind of trees you want in your mental landscape? What kind of plants? What kind of fruit? You go there and access that data in your mind and you bring back. And it's very powerful because all the data that we collect is from our experience and also from past lives. I'm sure it happened to you. Like me, I was driving to work and suddenly something came to my mind. I remember a scene of myself driving my bicycle in front of my house when I was 9 years old. I go, whoa, where did that come from? Has it ever happened to you? Right? It's like suddenly something just goes. It's because it's all there and we haven't assessed that for a long time. But everything is in your mental landscape. That little building there. Sometimes there is a trauma in that building. Something happened in your childhood, in your life, what's happening right now. But it's there. We can't just go there and destroy. We have to deal with it. Maybe that building needs a little cleanup. Maybe it is there, but hey, I can plant some flowers around it. I can do something. And another thing that we do a lot is our mental weather. In our mental landscape, we are responsible for the weather. There are days that we are really mad, right? And we can have a storm, an earthquake, rain, beautiful sun. And we can just live our life dictating our mental landscape. Whatever happens today, I'm just going to deal with it. I would just let, the world and whatever happens dictate how I'm going to act and what's going to happen. No. We have the power to change our mental landscape, to create beautiful things in our mental landscape. Let's think about that. It was so easy for me now when I saw this, and I would start getting stressed about report cards that I'm doing this morning. And then suddenly I was just like, oh my God, I need to do this, I need to do that. And because I'm talking about this, I imagine, all right, I'm creating a little storm. I need to calm my weather. And I imagine my town in my head and the buildings and the house and the rain and people run. You go, oh no. It's like we have superpowers. We have superpowers to change the weather in our minds. What do we choose? Let's just be more aware. And then, when we do not take care of our mental landscape, we can cause a lot of, I said, mental pollution. You can call whatever you want. What happens is, we are creating this to our mind. And when I was reading, it says a lot, one of the things that create a lot of mental pollution is what we see. Because we are scanning, you can say, I saw a horror movie and it didn't affect me. Some people can see all kind of movies and they're okay. But you are scanning. And that data is being collected in your mind. We have to be careful of what we see, the images that we put in our minds. Violence, media, news. That's what you create in your mental landscape. And what Joanna de Angelis called attention in this chapter. She says, conversations. Conversation is creating all this in your mind. The level of a conversation. Are we screaming? Are we complaining every day? Or what is it, the words that we are saying? And she says, words carry vibration. It's not the sound of the word, but the content. So let's examine the content of our talks, of our conversation. It's okay. We are human beings. Like, believe me, by the end of the day, I'm so tired with my job that I need to vent a little bit. Don't we all? Something happened, or something happening with your family, your friends, and it's okay. But there is a difference that we are just venting. The other is, that's what I focus most of the time, being negative, that always something bad's gonna happen. So let's be careful. It's affecting what? It's affecting your mental landscape. And when we are negative, because we study Spiritism, we know we are not alone. And we have all those spirits negative. They're like, come on, complain. Yeah, Bernadette, complain. Life is not good. Life is not good. And then suddenly you connect with negative energy. But you say, it's not my fault. The devil made me do it. The spirits made me do it. You started. And even if you start, be aware that's like, oh, okay, I need to breathe to cut this negative connection. Because the buildings and the trees, the dead trees is trying, to grow in my head. And what's the solution? To bring a positive mental landscape. Whatever you do. When you notice that being negative and all that, well, I need to do something about it. For example, positive conversation. Right? Try like this. When somebody comes to you to complain about something or about a person, do you see what he did? I don't know, my work, a teacher, he's horrible. He doesn't know what to do. So you listen and you acknowledge, wow, I hear what you're saying. It is too much going on. But he's here every day. When you say something positive and you start saying positive, you know what happens? The person gets annoyed. I've done this. Right, and stop and go, you're not going to agree with me all the time? Yo, he did this. But I saw he holding the hand of a little child that was crying today. The person walks away. And then they go find another person to talk. Because I cut. I said, I'm not taking that. I don't want to bring more negative things, So, positive conversation and visualize good things, the nature. And this chapter said, imagine the ocean, water, birds, children laughing. When you do that, you bring more good things in your mental landscape. And it's really good. And also says, be careful. Be selective of the kind of energy that you bring to your mind. Meaning, where do you choose to go? All the places have energy. Like, you go out with your family, you go to the park, or you're going to be in a place that everybody's drinking and using drugs. What's going to happen? So we need to be more careful and select what we see, what we watch, what we listen, what we read. We think that is not going to affect us, but it does. I remember I was looking at a magazine or something, and then I saw quickly a scene of violence. But it was just like this, turning the page. But quickly I looked, and that scene was in my head for 3 days. It was so strong what I saw, that my mental landscape was affected. So I had to pray and start to read other things to bring something good to my mental landscape. Because Jesus said, for where your treasure is, there your heart will be also. Your mind is your treasure. Your ideas are your treasure. So whatever it is, that's where your heart and your mind is. And closing, I love how she ends this chapter. The mind is an attribute of the spirit. When you discarnate, You leave your body, your physical body, but your spirit moves on with the mind, with all the thoughts, with all the experience. Now, if your mental landscape is negative, and with a lot of things that are not good, when you cross over, you're going to bring that, and your spirit's not going to be at peace at first. It's going to take a lot of work to clean all that. So let's read what she says. The moment of discarnation releases the memory of our entire existence. You know, when you see the movies and they say, oh, it flashed in front of me, all my childhood and everything. Especially what was more vigorously fixed in our minds through repetition. What is this thing that you are repeating? These fixations are our constant and soul daily thoughts. Till the moment you are dead, the last breath, you have those thoughts. So, living such a way that upon your discarnation, your death, your memory will bless you with a beautiful harvest of elevated thoughts, propelling you to be happy from the moment onward. If you think that, oh, I died, that's it, this is it, I died. No, we talked about the spirit is eternal. Imagine if we die right now, okay? Just say, what thoughts would you have in your mind? I go, oh, I'm okay because I learned about my mental landscape. Right now, I'm calm. So how would that be? Right? So let's think about that. And is it easy? Oh, no. It takes many reincarnations. Man, changes, I was just telling my husband, now that we are in our 50s, things don't bother me as much as we used to. And I feel good about that. But it's still working on a mental landscape. All right.